The rain hasn't stopped since that day. It feels fitting, somehow. A world weeping for the man it lost. Or maybe it's just me, projecting my own grief onto the gray, endless sky. They say I was the best. The king's shadow. Take Ayedme, always there, silent, watchful, a shield forged in years of relentless training, sworn to stand between him and any harm. And in the one moment that mattered, I shattered. I replay it in my mind, 1,000 times a day, 1,000,000 times a night. It's a cruel loop, an inescapable torment. The cheering crowd, the vibrant colors of the festival, the scent of roasted chestnuts in the air. He was so happy that day. He loved his people, you see, truly loved them. He insisted on walking among them, without the usual suffocating layers of security. "Let them see their king, Valerius," he'd said, his eyes sparkling with that familiar warmth. "A king who hides is no king at all." I argued. Of course, it was my duty. But he had a way of looking at you, a way of making you believe in the inherent goodness of the world. A world where a king could walk freely among his subjects. I relented. That was my first failure. I let his optimism override my training. I saw the crowd not as a sea of potential threats, but through his eyes as a gathering of loyal hearts. The glint. That's what haunts me most. A flash of metal from a second-story window. It was so fast. My body reacted. My training screamed. But I was a step too slow, a fraction of a second. The difference between life and death. I remember the sound, a sickening thud, and the way the cheers died in an instant, replaced by a collective gasp, then screams. I reached him as he fell. His eyes found mine. There was no blame in them, only surprise and a faint, sad smile. He tried to speak. His hand, so often raised in a regal wave, clutched at my arm. I leaned in close, the world dissolving into a blur of panic and chaos. He whispered my name. Just my name. Valerius. And then, nothing. The light in his eyes, the light that had guided our kingdom for 3 decades, went out. I failed. It's a simple, brutal truth. I carried his body from the square, a silent procession through the stunned, weeping mass. His blood stained my uniform, a permanent mark of my disgrace. In the days that followed, the world moved on. A new king was crowned his son, a good man, but not his father. The kingdom mourned, and then the business of state resumed. But for me, time stopped in that blood-soaked square. They didn't execute me. They didn't even imprison me. The Queen Regent said it wasn't my fault. She said no one could have predicted it, that I had served him faithfully for 20 years. Her words were meant to be kind, a balm for a wounded soul. But they felt like embers on an open wound. It would have been easier if they had blamed me, punished me. This quiet dismissal, this pity. It's a heavier sentence than any dungeon. So now I live in this small cottage at the edge of the kingdom, a place where no one knows my face or the name that was once whispered with respect in the halls of power. I spend my days staring out at the rain, tending a small garden he would have liked. I can still feel the weight of his hand on my arm, hear his last breath. Sometimes, children from the village pass by. They see an old soldier, a man with haunted eyes. They don't see the king's shadow. They do unsee the man who let the sun set on the greatest king this land has ever known. It's better that way. My failure is my own to carry. I was meant to be his shield, but a shield that fails its purpose is just a useless piece of metal. I often wonder what he would say if he could see me now. Would he forgive me? I think he would. He was that kind of man, and that, I think, is the cruelest part of it all. I can't even find solace in his anger, because he never had any to give, only a quiet disappointment that would be far worse. The rain is starting to let up. The world keeps turning. The seasons keep changing. But in my heart, it will always be that day. The day the music stopped. The day I failed my king, my friend, my brother. The guilt is a shadow that follows me even when the sun is gone. It is my penance, and I will carry it, alone, until my own last day. I owe him that much.